This is informal, so kind of spread yourself out. Get in a position where you can. I know I have a couple of people joining in, so. Hi, Miss Rochelle. Can you hear me? Good. All right, Coach Levingston's getting ready here momentarily, so we'll get started here. Hi, Miss Maya. We're gonna get started here really quick. Coach Levingston's getting changed real quick, so. We can socially distance you, so if you don't feel like wearing the mask, please. You don't need it, so. We're not gonna be moving around a lot. You'll be kind of doing stuff in place, so. We will socially distance you. I do, basically in the hallway. I have an office. I don't think so either. Who's your mom? Who's your mom watching? Who's your mom watching? Who's your teacher? Who's your teacher? Who's your teacher? This is her? Oh. Oh. What grade are you in? No, he didn't. I forget her name. She retired. That was the last. All right, you guys, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna turn over to Coach Levingston here. He's gonna be right in front. Okay. You need to make it longer. So you got two on the Zoom. Okay. If you can be like right here, then everyone can kind of see you.
All right. How's everybody doing? I'm okay. So, all right. So I don't know what Master Hong said about me, but that's all right. But so what we're going to do tonight is some mobility exercises. It's not like traditional like flexibility stretches or anything like that. These are mobility exercises more to try to increase your range of motion and help you to just move better overall. Um, but I just want to warn everyone that if you have any hip or knee problems, just let me know. These shouldn't be painful at all, but they will cause discomfort. Um, they're based in martial arts. Some of these exercises, the guy that came up with them, he's a big MMA guy, um, and he's actually a chiropractor. But this is going to be like a full body, basically mobility exercise program. So the first thing what we're going to do is we're just going to start with our neck. As a warm up, so these are called CARs, and CARs stands for continuous articular rotations. And you don't have to remember that, just CARs. Basically, it just means circles. So we want to isolate our neck. So you're going to think about tightening up the rest of your body. And the way we do that is you can put your hands on your hips, or you can just make a fist. And you want to have your feet about shoulder width apart. And then you just want to make a fist, and you just want to tighten up everything but your neck. And then the car, the cervical car or the neck car, is you're going to try to, as you tighten up everything, you're going to push your neck down as far as you can. And then you're going to turn your head to the side, scraping your collarbone with your chin until you go all the way to the side. So you're looking to the side, and then you're just gonna go and keep following that around to the other side, and then scrape your collarbone with your chin. And then from there, you're gonna just reverse it. So everything should be tight, and you don't wanna do this fast. You wanna go nice and slow, and you should feel that in your neck as you're going through. So what these exercises do is that they start to bring an awareness to your brain. This brings an awareness to your brain. So you might feel some areas where you feel tight, and that's where you're going to start to focus on. So some of you might feel it as you go back. You might feel like some tightness there, or as you turn to the side. But we're just going to go, I don't really count too much. So I'm just going to let you guys go at your own pace, but you want to go nice and slow, back and forth, and do about 5 to 10 each way. And I'm just going to kind of watch, make sure you guys are doing that okay. But you want to think about keeping all your other muscles tight. So your stomach tight, your arms tight, chest tight. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be scrunched up like this. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but that part should be, you should be pushing down as you just move your neck. Does that feel okay? All right. Okay, so now we're going to move on. So next we're going to move on to your shoulder blades. Same hand position, but this time you're going to bring your hands up in front of you like this. And now we're going to make circles with our shoulder blades. So standing to the side so you can see me a little bit better, that you're going to push forward as far as you can, and then come up. And then you're going to come back, and then you're going to think about putting your shoulder blades in your back pocket. So it's not like a real circle. It's more of a half circle. So you go forward as far as you can, and then come straight down, and then go forward again. But again, you want to keep everything else tight. So you can do that with your hands in front of you, or you can have your hands on your side with your palms facing forward. If you think about it, you have that inseam on the side there, right here. So as you do that, You're going to go forward and then just bring your pinkies just straight down the side. So try about 10 going forward, and then you're going to reverse it and try to go the opposite way. And don't forget to breathe, okay? Breathing is very important. So those are scapular cars or shoulder blade cars. And again, with these, you might find some areas that just feel tight, and it's just to kind of bring an awareness to that area. So everything that we're going to be doing during this warm-up is all cars or rotations. All right, everybody feeling okay with that one? So then we're going to move on to shoulder cars. So we got two shoulders. So we'll start with either one, whichever one you want. So you want your palm facing forward, okay? And this time what you're going to do is, again, you want to think about everything else being tight, including your neck this time. So one hand is going to be down by your side. This hand, you're going to bring it across your body up this way with your thumb facing up. And as you're going up, you're going to try to flex your shoulder or bring your arm up overhead. And then from there, you're going to rotate your arm so that your thumb is forward. And then keep going back as far as you can. Reach until you can't go any further. And then you're going to turn your thumb forward again and come across to the front. And you want to do it that slow. So actually, I'm kind of doing it fast. So you want to go as slow as you can. You should feel that all the way through. It's not this. You're not doing the arm circles like this. You are actually forcing that arm or tightening those muscles as you go through. So you should feel, you see my arm shaking? That's how much tension you should be trying to put through your shoulder. So try a few that way, and then we'll switch and do the other arm as well. But again, it's going forward, across your body, and then up so that your thumb is back. And then you're going to rotate your arm and come back down all the way and go back. Okay. And again, if you have shoulder issues, just do what you can. You actually might start to like this one because it will increase your range of motion. A lot of people talk about like cracking or noise in their shoulder or their neck. The more you do these, the less that noise will occur. So if you have like popping in your knees or your hips or your shoulders, it feels creaky. The more you do these, the less that becomes, because basically what we're doing is stretching out that capsule in the shoulder. So make sure you do both sides. And I'm actually a little sore because I was trying to think of this stuff last night. Nice. Good. Okay, so now we're going to do another shoulder one. This time what you're going to do is you're going to put both hands straight out to the side with your palms facing the ceiling. okay? From there, you want to think about pushing your feet into the ground, okay? If you were standing on a piece of paper, you want to think about like you're trying to rip the paper with your feet. So it's like you're trying to push out. So that's going to activate your core. So you're pushing out with your feet. And then with your hands from here, all you're going to do is you're going to rotate. So your thumb is down on one side, and then the other side, and then back and forth. And then once you got that, you're going to rotate, and then you're going to reach to the side, that palm is down, then come back, rotate the other hand, and then rotate your palm up again, and then reach to the other side. And you should feel that, so keep your feet on the ground. You feel it? You should feel that like right near the front of your shoulder for the most part. So try a few, just kind of going to each side. Oops. So you can bend your knees a little bit to get out there a little bit. You might feel that a little bit on the side in your back. This is just a different type of car. All right, good. So next one, now we're gonna work on our upper back. So for our upper back, you can either give yourself a big hug, like putting your hands here like this, or I just like to just cross my arms in front of me. And then from there, we wanna only move our upper back, okay? We don't wanna move our hips or our legs or your arms or your neck. So you're only going to be moving your upper back. So again, you want to pretend like you're trying to rip that paper with your feet. With your hands here, what you're going to do is you're going to hinge forward, keeping your back nice and straight. And then you're going to start to turn to the side this way. And then you're going to kind of keep going around just like you did with your neck. So it's really, really slow. So you're going to the side, and then you're going to be kind of looking towards that side as you go forward, and then hinge forward. So if you feel like your back is rounded, it probably is. You don't want it to be rounded. You want to think of it like flat, like a surfboard, okay? So from the side, it's hinge forward, then start to rotate. All the way around. And then back to the front. So try both directions. Usually with these, one way is harder than the other. And you'll see that with a lot of these. Good. You guys doing okay still? All right. All right, so now we'll start to go into the lower body. And we're gonna be doing hip circles. I call these scrape the barrels. So you're gonna, again, have your feet about shoulder width apart. And actually, if you want to, you can bring your feet a little bit closer together. You put your hands on your waist. And then from there, you're going to push your hips out to the side as far as you can. So you want to imagine that you're standing inside of a big barrel, and you're trying to get that hip to that barrel. And so when you get to the side of the barrel, and then from there, you're just going to push your hip forward and scrape that barrel, and then go all the way around to the other side, scrape the other side, and then kind of go back. So your upper body should stay fairly still. I mean, it's not going to, you don't want to round. So try a few going one direction and then switch directions, but it's, again, it's just nice and slow. And try to get the edges of the barrel. So the closer your feet are, the harder it becomes, because now it starts to become a balance exercise. Nice. Okay. Good. Oh, okay. So next we're going to do another hip one. And this is the one that's going to really help you guys with your kicks. So you're going to be, basically we're going to try to stretch out that hip capsule. Just like your hip, just like your shoulder, you have a capsule in your hip that can get impinged or can get scarred down in certain areas. So now we want to try to start to create some space in there. So this one is going to require a little bit of balance. If you need to, you can use a wall or a post or a chair, but you're basically, yeah, you can use Natalie. But you want to stand nice and tall again, and it doesn't matter which one you do first. You're going to balance on one leg. So you want that leg, the stance leg or the leg that's on the ground, you want that knee just slightly bent. Okay. So then what you're going to do is you're going to bring your knee up and in at an angle, just like you did with the shoulder. So you're going to bring it up as high as you can, kind of at an angle this way. Okay. And you want to go slow. So if you have to put your foot down, put your foot down. But you're going to bring your knee up as high as you can, okay? And then you're going to bring your knee straight across to the side. And then this is the hard part. So if you want high kicks, this is the motion that you want to get. So it's called internal rotation. And you don't have to remember that, but this is, if you want high kicks, you want to have internal rotation in your hip. If you don't have internal rotation, we say that you don't have a hip, because your hip's supposed to rotate. If you don't have it, you need it, especially for Taekwondo. So you bring that knee up, come straight out to the side, and then try to keep that knee in the same spot without letting it come down, but you're going to rotate your foot up, not letting that knee come down, and then you're going to push back as far as you can. And this floor is kind of weird, but so you bring it up, out to the side, rotate, keep that rotation, come back, around, and through. Okay. And a little bit slower than what I just did. Okay. And try both sides. So the hard part is that rotation. When you come out here, you want to rotate. You can have a little bit of lean, but you want to try to stay as high or straight up as you can. And you should feel that right in that hip. If you don't have hip problems, you're lucky. Okay, so try a few on each side, and then I'll show you another way that you can do this. You feel that? Yeah. I know. Nice. Good. So now you're going to do the same thing, but now you're going to reverse it. So instead of going forward, you're going to go backwards. So you're going to bring your leg back as high as you can. So now you don't want to lean like this. You want to try to stay upright because you want only movement at the hip. And if you do this, then we're starting to use our back. So you want to keep your body as upright as you can. Push back as far as you can. Bring it around. Rotate. Bring it around. And try to keep that knee up. And so you want it like a table here. And then you're going to come across. And then this time, you're going to rotate your foot the other way. So you're going to bring it up this way, like you're trying to do cross your leg, and then bring it down. Let's try that one. A few times on each side. Nice, Mr. Bobs. Yep. Yeah, and then you're going to rotate. So if you're wondering why you're not kicking so high, this might be why. Make sure you guys do both sides. You'll thank me later. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to do another hip car. So you're going to come down on your hands and knees. Okay. You want to think about pushing your, well, depends on what you're doing, which one you're doing. So if you're going to be moving your left hip, you want to think about moving your right hip out. So or if you are by a wall, you want to be pushing your hip into the wall like that. Okay. If not, you just kind of want to think about pushing that direction. But from there, what you're going to do is same thing, tighten up all your muscles, and then you're going to bring your knee up and then out to the side, kind of like a dog, fire hydrant. And then you're going to try to rotate that hip again, or your foot up, but not let your knee drop. So you're coming out to the side, keep that knee in that same spot, and try to rotate up, okay? And then you're gonna come back, around, and then cross over and through, okay? So it's up, out to the side, rotate, push back, back and around and through. So this is a little bit easier than the last one because now you have a little bit more support. And again, so what these are doing should just bring an awareness to you, say, oh, you know what? I suck right here. or here. So if you get a pinching feeling, that's something I forgot to tell you guys. Like I said, these shouldn't hurt, but if you get like a pinch or any kind of sharp shooting pain, just stop. That means you're just trying too hard and there's something else going on. but discomfort is okay. So on your scale, on your personal pain scale, okay, 0 is no pain at all. 10, you're getting eaten by a grizzly bear, okay, or you have to go to the hospital. Try not to let anything go above a 5, okay? So everyone's pain scale is different, but discomfort is okay. So again, make sure you guys do both sides. Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll just do these. Okay, so now we'll try another one. So you guys probably have done maybe or heard of a cat-cow. We're gonna do it a little bit differently. So you have, all right, Natalie, I'm gonna test your math. So you have 7 cervical vertebrae, 12 thoracic, and 5 lumbar, okay? And we'll just say 1 sacrum. How many is that total? Anybody? Huh? Good. Right on. Okay. Can't do math? It's all that core math stuff. So we're gonna do a cat camel, but this is called a targeted segmental cat camel. So you have 27 vertebrae. You're gonna try to move each one at a time. Okay, so if it takes you 5 seconds, you have no back because you got a lot more than 5 vertebrae. So it should take you about a second each one. So you're gonna be on your hands and knees. And I like to start in the cat position. So you wanna have you wanna push your shoulders up and you want your head down. And then what you're gonna do is start with your head and start to just slowly come up 1 vertebra at a time. And then when you get to your shoulders, it's like you're trying to push your chest down into between your arms and slowly go 1 vertebra at a time, all the way down until you're in that cow. Now that was way faster than 27 seconds, okay? But I'm just trying to show you how to do that. But again, and then you're gonna reverse it. So you're gonna try to tuck your tail and go 1 vertebra at a time until you're in that cat. All right, so just try a couple of those. So I call that my morning routine. So every morning I wake up, I do this. I take about 10 to 15 minutes to do this. There's also wrist cars, elbow cars, ankle cars, pretty much anywhere you have a joint. But for time's sake, I'm gonna just kind of show you an exercise to really help you get that hip mobility. So this is called a shin box. So what it is you wanna be sitting with your feet like this. So one leg is going straight forward and the other leg is coming straight out to the side. Both knees are bent. You wanna have a 90-degree angle at both there. If you're got pretty good mobility or hip mobility, you should be almost sitting straight up. And you shouldn't have to use your hands, okay? If you can't do that, put one hand down or lean back a little bit, okay? So that's the first part of this lift. It's called a lift off. So you remember that internal rotation that I was talking about? What we're gonna try to do is actively try to lift that front leg off the floor. So at the knee, so you're gonna go foot first. Let's see, I'll turn this way. So what you're gonna try to do is start with that foot, and you're just going to try to lift that foot off the floor and then hold it for about 5 seconds, okay? And then come back down. So if that's easy, you wanna lean forward and then try it again, okay? If it's hard, then lean back. Now you wanna be sure that you're at that 90, or that you want that leg straight out in front of you, and this one should be just coming straight across, okay? So try that. Try to do it 5 times, and then I'm going to show you the next part of it.
So do we want to keep the hip on the floor?
Yep, your hips should stay on the floor. Basically, it's only that lower leg, like this. But you want to start with your foot and try to lift off, okay? You should feel a lot of pressure in this back leg. And you'll feel it all in this inner thigh area as you lift. Okay, got it? So now that was active. Now we're gonna try to do passive. So now you're gonna help it. So let's see. You're gonna lift that leg up with your hand, your inside hand. If your left leg is in front, you're gonna be using that right hand. You're gonna lift it, and then with that hand, you're gonna try to lift it up higher. Hold that, and then move your hand and try to keep your foot there and hold that for 5 seconds. And then you don't want to drop your foot like that, okay? You want to gently slow it down and place it down so that your foot comes down first and then your knee. So your goal is for you to be able to lift your leg the same height as when you lifted it with your hand off the floor. So I got a long ways to go. So I can only lift it to here by myself. If I help it, I can come up to here. You want to be able to lift it all the way up to here. So that's your goal. Now the hard part is that as you get better, you're going to be lifting your leg even higher and higher. So it makes it even harder to lift that leg all the way up. But if you can get your leg off 6 inches off the ground, you have pretty good hip mobility. So now you're going to do the same thing with the back leg, okay? So from here, you're just trying to lift that foot off the ground like this. And so you're trying to bring that back leg like this. Okay. Just the lower leg. So your knee stays down. Yep. So you just sit again. If this is easy, I want you to take your hands away. So if you can do this pretty easily, get your hands up, make some fists, and now try to do it. Okay? Now, kind of going back to that last one, you can do that the same thing with that front leg. If that's easy to lift up, try to do it without using your arms or having the arm down. Yeah. No, just the front leg. So hold your hands out and then try to lift up. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So that's so those are called lift-offs. Yep, then switch legs and kind of do the same thing. Okay, so now you have your opposite leg in front. And then you're just trying to lift that front leg off, hold it. And come down. Remember, don't drop your foot. Yeah, about 5. Even 2 or 3. You don't need a lot. I'm sure you probably feel it just doing, yeah. So if you want to, you can try to hold it longer, or now this is more advanced, but you place an object like a yoga brick or a foam roller or a book, and you try to, see if I can do this. You try to lift that leg up. Try to lift that leg up and come across that object and come back down. So this is pretty low, but like a yoga block is probably like 2 or 3 inches. We try. You can use a kettlebell if you have one, or a dumbbell. You start to change that angle, so this becomes more difficult. and then you go back. So that's another way to try to increase your mobility as best you can. So now we're going to try, so I'm just going to show you a transition from, so start with one leg in front, back in that 90-90. So you really don't want to, we want to be moving the entire time, kind of working that hip. So this is called a transition, or a shin box again. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to bring that front leg in towards you, and you can use your hand or you can just bring it in. Then with the back leg, you're going to go onto your heel like this, and you might feel that already going through that inner thigh. And then you just transition all the way to, this is called a bear sit, to the other side. And then you put that front leg out. Okay, nice. And so the next transition, so this is another mobility. Even though you're just switching sides, it's another mobility exercise, because that hip should be able to move in 360 degrees. So from there, you bring that foot in, and then you start to come around into this bear sit, and then you come all the way across, and then just put that front leg forward a little bit. Good. So now there's another transition from bear sit to a butterfly. So everyone knows what a butterfly stretch is. So but this time when you transition, you bring that foot in just like you did, and then you go into that butterfly. I'll turn a little bit. You go into your bear sit, and then you want to bring your hands down onto so that your elbows are into your knees, and then you're going to bring your foot in and your other foot in, and then slowly push your knees away. And then from there, I'll just show you this one really quick, and we'll make it the last one. With your elbows, push your knees into your elbows like you're trying to close your legs, but don't let it. So push into your elbows like you're trying to close your legs. Start with about 20% of your max push, and then you want to slowly, gradually go up to where you're pushing as hard as you can. So kind of like this. So I'm going to start at 20%, and then 40%, 50, 60. And you're just gradually pushing harder and harder into your hands or your elbows till you get to about 100. And when you get to about 100, you should be shaking, because that's your max. Then push it, push, 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 push. Hold it there for about 5 to 10 seconds at your max. Don't forget to breathe, and then relax, and then go all the way down and push with your elbows towards the floor. Okay. So So try that a couple of times, and like Master Hong said, you should go lower. Now, the thing is with therapy and exercise, any kind of mobility or range of motion type stuff, you're only going to gain about 10% of whatever you got. So if you got all the way to the floor, if you do nothing, you may be able to get back to the floor, but probably not. If you do nothing the next day. Now, if you repeat it, you should be able to get close to the floor. And if you can't get to the floor, you should be able to get it again. But your goal is you're only going to get 10% of whatever you gained. So I'm going to use my arm as an example. So maybe we started out tonight, I can only bring my arm up to here, okay? After we did these cars and these exercises that we just did are called pails and rails. But as we did these resistance exercises or stretches, maybe I got to here. And then I go home and I do nothing. And I don't do anything the next day. Then I come back to class and Master Hong says, raise your arm up. Why is it only going here when I was here the other day? So that's your nervous system, okay? So we're trying to train your nervous system, not your muscles. Your muscles are stupid. They don't do anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. They do something, but it's your nervous system that controls how your body moves, why you are stiff, why you don't have mobility. So what you want to do is go home tonight, and you don't have to do all of these again, but try to do just a few, especially the ones where you felt tight or you felt that was hard. And then, you come back and maybe you can't go back up to here, but you're going to be farther. And then the next time you come in, you're going to be a little bit further. And then you'll be even further. So you're only going to get about 10% of what you started with. So, but if you do nothing, you're not going to gain anything. So like when you guys go home tonight, like that last one, the 90-90, that's usually pretty hard for most people. But if you go home and do it one more time, and then you do it again one more time tomorrow, you're going to be a little bit further than you were. Or even if you do that butterfly stretch. And so I was going to go, I thought I had more time, but I talked slow, I guess. But I was going to go through a splits routine to try to get splits, because that's one of my goals to try to attain again. But it's the same idea. So you're going to go into your splits, and you're going to be pushing down to where it's uncomfortable and you just don't like it, lifting up one leg, trying to lift up the other leg, and then forcing it, helping it up, and then trying to hold it. It's the exact same thing, but the more you do it, the higher or the more you'll be able to gain that mobility. So we're not talking about flexibility, we're talking about mobility. And we want to train our nervous system. Like I say that, if everyone got their nervous system removed, if I went in, pulled out your spine, and just took out their nerves, and then I asked you to do the splits, you go straight down. You'll probably be able to bring your legs all the way up over your head. And it's just because of the nervous system. So the way the nervous system works is that it just doesn't feel safe. When you feel tight, your brain is telling your nervous system, I don't like that. I don't feel safe. So that's why you have to keep trying to trick it, or kind of do this gradually each and every time, because then your brain starts to say, oh yeah, this isn't so bad. And then this isn't so bad. Oh, you know what? I can probably go a lot further. And that's how like you've seen little kids, I'm sure, they come in and, they have no fear. So they just go straight into a split. I kind of felt like that when I was a kid, especially sparring. I didn't care. So, but now I don't want to get hit. So I kind of hold back. but that's your nervous system talking to you, because as you grow, your nervous system is saying, oh, you know what, I didn't like this. This kind of hurt. So I'm going to stiffen it up. Or you have pain, I'm going to stiffen that up so that you can't move it. So you just got to try to break that habit. But yeah. But if you guys ever have questions, ask Master Hong, and he knows how to get a hold of me, and I'll try to show up a little more. But thank you guys. I hope you guys learned a little bit. That's not even the tip of what you can do with these types of exercises. You can pretty much stretch to your black and blue, but if you don't do it correctly, you'll tend to get injured, and I'm not saying that these will keep you from getting injured, but you can prevent that, because you'll know your body a lot better. All right, guys. Thank you. I guess that's it. Yeah.
So for everyone, this concludes our mobility drill class. I will work with Coach Levingston to kind of get maybe another session squared away, because I know all of you want to learn how to do splits. All right, so I'll work with Coach Levingston and his schedule to try to get another one done. It probably won't happen until after October test, but we'll make sure that we get it available, and I'll communicate it out well in advance so that you guys can prepare for it. So, all right. Well, thanks for your time. We went a little bit over, so have a good night. We'll see you guys next class. All right, take care. All righty, bye-bye.